To upgrade your home, get new arrivals in dining. Plus, buy more and save more on bedroom sets and get an additional 10% on credit purchases of any bedroom set. Want quality products that provide value at the best prices backed by full warranty? We've got you. Plus, shop today and pay later with Quartz Ready Finance. Whatever you need, we've got you. Only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Prepare yourself to be moved and grooved by the Temple of Jazz and Creole 2025 from April 19th to May 5th. The historic Fort Shirley Corbett National Park ignites with an epic lineup for the main stage event on Sunday, May 4th from 2 p.m. It's Jazz and Creole 2025, where soulful music comes alive.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, says the March 19 protest action was planned and unlawful. In news from the region, Delta Airlines to launch a special service between Boston and the Caribbean later this year. And internationally, a U.S. envoy meets Russia's president as Donald Trump urges Russia to get moving on Ukraine ceasefire. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when I return.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued, like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore, says the March 19 protest action was planned and unlawful. Blackmore says evidence indicates that this protest was organized with the intention of storming Dominica's parliament on that day. He was speaking at a press conference called by the Ministry of National Security this afternoon.
The notion that your government is repressive, that your government is anti-expression of free speech, anti-people's right to assembly and to protest is false and misleading. And the facts will speak for themselves. Let me just say further that what transpired on the 19th of March last month was nothing close to freedom of expression and freedom of association. Based on the intelligence which I cannot disclose here today, it was a planned protest with the intent to storm Parliament. A number of pre-recorded pronouncements and live pronouncements made before that actual date, that the intention was to mobilize a significant number of people and with the intention of making it difficult for the police to contain. They were not able to mobilize a significant number in the area of 3,000 or 5,000 that they were targeting, and monies were raised for that purpose. But 180 people approximately were actually mobilized, and the 180 people can cause serious disruption. I want to take this opportunity to highly commend the police for the manner in which they discharge the duty on behalf of the people of this country. They will come professional and use reasonable force to curtail a mob.
Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. Meantime, Blackmore calls on Dominicans to safeguard against misinformation.
For those who say that it is people's right to protest, my answer to you is yes. For those who use the Constitution, specifically Section 10 and 11, to justify the notion that is misconstrued, that your freedom of assembly and association come without limitation and restriction, that is not true at all. And in that vein, I would like to make a special plea to the people of Dominica. We were struck and affected by COVID-19, one of the most devastating disasters to hit this country. We embarked on a national mobilization exercise on education to vaccinate the people of Dominica and to immunize the people of Dominica against this deadly vaccine. Likewise, there's an urgent need for a national mobilization and educational process and program to vaccinate our people against misinformation and disinformation. And what is that vaccine, therefore? That vaccine I want to characterize is knowledge. You should know your right under the Constitution and other relevant laws of this country, as well as your responsibility. And who can provide that vaccine? Those of us and those of you with that knowledge has that moral responsibility to educate our populace and to avoid them from being misled, as we saw manifesting on the street on the 19th of March 2025.
Minister for National Security, Rayburn Blackmore. A student of Pioneer Prep, Sani Laville, has emerged top in the 5th competition of round 1 of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition. 7 schools participated in the competition, which took place at the Berean Christian Academy in Bafa State this afternoon. Here now is an excerpt of this afternoon's top reader, Sani
President
Laville.
of Dominica Association of Teachers, Marvin Alexander, has advised teachers to perform their duties with distinction in spite of the concern over poor payments. He told the Teachers' Day rally at Dubla on Friday that the welfare of students must be a priority. Meantime, 5 retired teachers were awarded by Dominica Association of Teachers during their World Teachers' Day rally in Dubla.
This afternoon's top reader, Sani Laville. Meantime, coordinator of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition, Kashina Joseph, has the finalist of this afternoon's competition.
And tying for 4th position, we have 2 schools. From the Ebenezer SDA Primary, Kira David, and Sakina Prosper from the Convent Prep. Coming in 3rd, from the Petit Savan Primary School, Malik Smith. 2nd, from our host school, the Berean Christian Academy, Jahid Walsh. And topping competition 5 in round 1 of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition 2025 is Sani Laville from the Pioneer Preparatory School.
Coordinator of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition, Kashina Joseph. The final competition in round 1 of the DBS Radio Felix Henderson National Reading Competition will take place on Monday at the Sufria Primary School. In other news this evening, Nurse Rhonda Ismail topped the list of participants who have excelled in continuing professional development. A number of nurses were recognized today by the General Nursing Council.
So today we want to recognize some of our nurses who have done exceptionally well. At the Nursing Council, we have set standards for continuing professional development. Enrolled nurses are supposed to present evidence of having completed 30 hours of continuing professional development. RNs, 40 hours, and advanced practice nurses, 60 hours, which includes 20 hours in the area of specialty. And topping that list was a very young nurse, this Rhonda Ismail, with 289 hours, presenting the awards to the people who excelled in CPD. Alancia Paquette Baron, followed by Mary-Louise John Lewis, Jessica Coffey, Mary-Louise John Lewis, Arlene Duado Ortega, Eliza Francis, Diane Hogan, Stephen Nixon, Yvonette Anatole Carbon, Florestine Lewis, Zuzel Maria Sanchez Echevarria, Julian Juliette Blaise, Martha Laura, Lucille Francis, Alice John Hope, Bernadette Ostry, Colin Jackson, Steffi Marie, Aisha Daru Thomas.
President of the General Nursing Council, Shirley Augustine. Meantime, a number of nurses were presented with special awards.
Patient Advocate, Joanna Laura Blaise, Anne Prosper Laville, Nursing Ethics and Professionalism, Deborah Roach Philip, Information Dissemination, Maria Dubois. Nurse Dubois always calls to find out whether she's on the right track, what it is, how she must do it. Pride in wearing of the uniform, Aisha Daru Thomas, Cornelia Edmond, Anne-Marie Fontaine, and Bernadette John Peter.
President of the General Nursing Council, Shirley Augustine. Meantime, Minister for Health, Kasani Laville, told the awardees that Dominica is blessed to have their services.
You all are blessed with the power to give life and to restore both physically and emotionally. And that is why for many of you, when people come to the hospital or you meet people in the district, it is often said you don't necessarily need a diagnosis to heal, because it is simply by the way you talk to someone, by the way you interact with someone, that already in itself can brighten someone's day. And I know and I trust that you all, the awardees who are there for us, this is the spirit, the virtues that you continue to embody every single day. And Dominica is blessed to have you. In a world where the demand for your services continues to grow, and we know the reality of nurse attrition, you all are highly skilled, and you all are in demand everywhere. Can we afford to pay you in a way that these more established, more resource-blessed countries, not human resource though? No, we can't. And we know it's not about money for you. It is more than that, much more than that. We thank those of you who have remained. We thank those of you who have returned. We thank those who have left and who continue to stay in touch and give advice and directions on the way care is delivered, how it's done in other places, so we ourselves can improve. And certainly, we have made strides. We don't take you all for granted, the true heroes who have remained. And that is why we continue every day to do what it takes to improve the environment, the structure, for you to operate and to thrive.
Minister for Health, Kasani Laville. The Dominica State College is taking steps towards improving its technical and vocational skills training program. Marketing and Communications Officer at the Dominica State College is Kimberly Benjamin.
The focus on technical and vocational skills training at Dominica State College is stronger than ever. With the near completion of the renewed auto mechanics workshop, students will soon have access to a modern, fully equipped space for hands-on learning by September 2025. We want to take the opportunity to say special thanks to the government of Dominica and Office of the Prime Minister for facilitating this project. And this exciting development comes at the perfect time, as DSC has just launched its spring short courses for 2025, set to begin in less than 2 weeks. This year's lineup includes basic electricals, refrigeration and air conditioning, basics in accounting, bookkeeping, and specialized 2-day workshops in etiquette and nutrition. Whether you're looking to upgrade your skills or explore something new, DSC's short courses offer flexible schedules, expert instructors, and hands-on training to meet your needs.
Marketing and Communications Officer at the Dominica State College, Kimberly Benjamin. Minister for Housing Melissa Popon-Skerrit says works are progressing very well on the Woodford Hill housing development. This Woodford Hill housing development forms part of the 2022 initiative, which were announced by the government of Dominica. MMCE Development Limited has partnered with local contractors to build 8 standalone housing units and 2 two-story building units. Mrs. Skerrit, on a post on her Facebook page, said the Woodford Hill housing development is progressing very well. That's the national focus. Regional and international developments up next.
Too often, customers are counted but not valued. Like mere numbers, statistics, transactions. But at Flow, we're prioritizing you, our valued customers who have been with us through every milestone, every moment. That's why we're putting our money where your loyalty is. Flow customers claim up to $400 in rewards for smartphones, groceries, and more when you add mobile to your current internet plan. Because loyalty isn't a one-way street. At Flow, loyalty flows both ways.
DBS News.
In news from the region, Delta Airlines will resume service between Boston and a Caribbean destination this holiday season after a 3-year pause. The carrier says it will launch service between Boston and St. Thomas in December due to popular demand. The daily non-stop service will run from December 20th to January 5th, 2026. The airline says this is all part of the carrier's recently announced largest ever winter schedule to Latin America and the Caribbean. As part of that schedule, Delta is adding 2 new non-stop destinations from Atlanta to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. And internationally, U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff met Vladimir Putin today as Donald Trump urged the Russian president to get moving on a ceasefire in Ukraine. The Kremlin said the meeting lasted for more than 4 hours and focused on aspects of the Ukraine settlement. The talks were described by a special envoy as productive. Trump has expressed frustration with Putin over the state of talks. And that's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Hit down the ground, long on has gone out and takes the catch. That's going to be that for the West Indies. They hold their nerve in a thriller. And who else would it be? It's the 2 stars of the show today. It's Matthews, it's Henry, and West Indies. Well, they haven't done it in style, but they've ground out a crucial victory. They win it by just 6 runs. 7 runs maybe, I'm not even sure. But somehow they've got over the line, and they will take a win for the ages and keep their qualification hopes alive.
The West Indies women's captain, Hayley Matthews, came up trumps with the ball as the West Indies women were able to hold on to pick up a much-needed win over Ireland as matches continued Friday in the Women's World Cup qualifiers in Pakistan. The game was reduced to 33 overs aside due to rain. The West Indies batted first and got 181 for 6 in their allotted overs. Stephanie Taylor and Chanel Henry made 46 runs each. Zeta James got 36. Ireland, needing 182 to win, needed 8 of the last over, but Hayley Matthews held her nerves as the West Indies were able to hold on for the 6-run win. Ireland were bowled out for 175. Hayley Matthews took 4 for 24. Ramahak 2 for 27 and Alia Allen 2 for 33. West Indies women's captain Hayley Matthews was named player of the match.
Yeah, I think just a bit of relief. Obviously, the game getting pretty close there and had to keep our nerve, but super happy to get the win in the end.
Can I ask you what you were thinking when Ireland were going so well at 56 for none? The kind of body language of the team looked a bit down. It looked as though you didn't know where a wicket was going to come from. Did you really believe you could turn that game around?
Yeah, I think so. We felt like we just had to stay really calm. We knew a few wickets could change the game massively, and that's exactly what happened. But as bowlers, we just needed to stick to our plans as long as possible and hopefully find a way to get the breakthrough.
Okay, what about for the team? You've played two, you've won one, you've lost one. Every game is pretty much going to be must-win from here. Do you come away from today's win, albeit a narrow one, with real confidence that you can qualify?
Yeah, we for sure take some confidence out of this, but still looking at areas we can improve for sure. Like I said, that intent with the bat and probably just being able to score a bit quicker. But for sure, looking at a lot of the positives, we've been fielding pretty decent over the last two games, and our bowling unit's really been doing well today, especially the spinners. So yeah, just looking to take the positives out of it and hopefully come back next game even stronger.
West Indies women's captain Hayley Matthews. The Windies now sit in fourth place in the point standings with 2 points. Pakistan leads the way with 4 points. The West Indies' next match is against Pakistan on Monday. Windward Islands Volcanoes head coach Kenroy Peters says he is disappointed with the showing from the team at the 2025 Regional 4-Day Tournament. The Windwards ended their campaign with an embarrassing 10-wicket defeat to the West Indies Academy. The Volcanoes finished their season with just 1 win, 1 draw and 5 defeats and will likely finish in 7th place.
Didn't bat well. There's no secret. Talk about doing all the simple things well. We talk about match awareness. Don't think we actually applied ourselves properly. There were some good deliveries, and there were some deliveries that we felt that shouldn't get out on those other deliveries. So it really disappointed. When you look at it for the last 4 innings last year, and throughout this whole, we have experienced the same issues. We have batters getting out in similar fashion, or not as even same fashion. So it boils down to probably mindset, belief, or simply that we're not patient enough. It's a lot of questions that we can ask. We can only pinpoint what we think, where we're going wrong. We can put all the things in place. But as we cross that line on match day, it's a different scenario where everything changes. And I think it may have to do with self-awareness. This is my strength. This is where I'm not strong at. How do I go through these tough periods?
Windward Islands Volcanoes head coach Kenroy Peters. Defending champions Guyana are well on their way to retaining their CWI Regional 4-Day title. Guyana are in a strong position heading into the 4th and final day of their matchup with Trinidad. Kimo Paul fell just short of a century as Guyana made 463 in their first innings. He got 93 and Raymond Perez 82. Carrie Pierre took 4 for 119. Trinidad in their second innings were 101 for 2 at stumps. Amir Django got 50. Scores heading into day 4 is Trinidad 240 and 101 for 2. Guyana 463. Trinidad trails by 122 runs. Meantime, Shakir Paris hit an unbeaten half-century, leading the combined campuses and colleges to a win over Jamaican Scorpions. Jamaica were bowled out for 342 on Friday, with John Campbell hitting 104. The CCC chased down the 150-run target, losing 5 wickets. Shakir Paris hit 85 not out. The final scores Jamaica 133 and 342. The CCC 327 and 153 for 5. The CCC won by 5 wickets. And the Leeward Islands Hurricanes are still in charge in their match with Barbados. Barbados were bowled out for 315 earlier today. Matthew Ford hit 120. The Leewards were 10 for 2 at dinner, a lead of 139 runs. The Kalinago territory will come alive this weekend with the official opening of the Gaulet River Softball League. The tournament gets underway on Sunday. League coordinator is Von Elise.
At present, we have 7 teams confirmed to participate. The tournament will be conducted in a round-robin format wherein each team will play against each other. The structure is designed to ensure fairness and maximum participation. As we prepare for this exciting event, we look forward to high standards of sportsmanship and fair play. We also look forward to involving and inspiring our youth who continue to play a vital role in the growth of cricket in our community. We are proud to share that two of our very own young players, that's Kenny Valmont and Dylan John, are currently serving on national duties. A true testament to the potential and dedication found within our community. This league is not just about competition, it is also about building a platform for development, unity, and shared passion for the game. We extend our best wishes to all teams and invite the full support of the community in making this event a memorable and meaningful success.
The tournament gets underway on Sunday, League Coordinator Vaughn Elise. Designer of the Dominica Kings Bator, Jeanette Bell of the Whitey Kubali Artists Association, says she is honored to have been bestowed with the opportunity to design the Bator. The Bator, which highlights many aspects of Dominica's culture, was unveiled Thursday at the Dominica Olympic Committee headquarters. Dominica's Kings Bator will be the symbol for Dominica's participation at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. The Glasgow 2026 Games has adopted a unique feature with each of the 74 Commonwealth nations and territories receiving their own customized Bator. The Bators will be reunited at the opening ceremony in Glasgow in 2026, and King Charles will read his message to officially open the Games.
Of all the ways I've had the privilege to showcase our island, this is my favorite, because it celebrates what makes us unique, what makes us stand tall with pride, especially as we compete in the Commonwealth Games. I appreciate the support and encouragement of my fellow WA members. We don't just work alongside each other, we uplift each other. The design I created for Dominica's baton has three sides. One represents our breathtaking nature, both vibrant marine life and lush landscapes, featuring our iconic Cicero parrot. Another side showcases a traditional Madras design, honoring our trailblazing Olympic gold medalist, Tiela Font. And the third carries the warm Kalinago phrase, Mabrika, meaning welcome, because that's who we are, open, united, and proud. I wove in elements of our flag and culture because to me, this baton is more than an object. It's a symbol of Dominica itself. Many different pieces coming together to create something truly beautiful.
Shanae Bell of the Whitey Kubali Artists Association. Meantime, the King's Battle Relay is set for next Tuesday. Capacity Support Officer of Commonwealth Sports Dominica is Tanya Burnett.
We're going to be undertaking some school visits, so the chance that young athletes, young aspiring athletes can get a chance to hold this baton, the same baton that possible Commonwealth medalists will also be holding. We have, as Ms. Mawson said, the plastic pickup activity at Woodbridge Bay on Saturday, starting at 8 o'clock, followed by on the same Saturday, site visits to various sites in the valley where we get an opportunity to showcase our baton and the beauty of Dominica. In addition to that, on Sunday, we're going to be visiting the CIG Games. That is a new athletic games that is going to be held in Dominica on Sunday. So we're encouraging everybody to come out on Sunday to the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. On Monday, we're going to be meeting with the official Carifta team. They're going to be officially launched on Monday. And we're going to get an opportunity to speak to these athletes, to encourage them. And then finally, on Tuesday, we're going to be having a relay through Roseau with our affiliated associations, where they're going to be carrying the baton from sport to sport through Roseau.
Capacity Support Officer of Commonwealth Sports Dominica, Tanya Burnett. The commissioning of the lights at the Geese Park in Ganvilia is among major activities this weekend as Portsmouth hosts the Sports Division's Community Sports Festival. The event will get underway on Sunday. Parliamentary representative for Portsmouth, Fenella Wenham Shepherd, says Portsmouth is excited to be hosting the event.
The event is scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. and the entire northern community is invited. In addition to the thrilling lineup of rounders, the T10 version of cricket, and 2 football matches, the highlight of the day will be the official commissioning of the newly installed lights at the Geese Park, a major upgrade that promises to enhance sporting events and community use of the facility. This family-friendly event celebrates both community spirit and sports development, offering fun, entertainment, and an electrifying atmosphere under the lights.
Parliamentary representative for Portsmouth, Fenella Wenham Shepherd. She says that the lighting of the park is a significant development for Ganvilia.
The project was spearheaded by the Ministry of Sports and marks a significant investment in local infrastructure. The government is keen on promoting evening sports, healthier lifestyles, and greater community engagement. In an effort to do that, there were some lights that were installed, some 8 lights, if memory serves me right, were installed in various communities around the island. With improved lighting, Geese Park can now host games and activities well into the evening, creating more opportunities for training, recreation, and family-friendly events in a space that is safe and accessible. It's a win-win for sports, it's a win for health, and certainly a bright win for the community. I just want to encourage the residents, let us use the facility. Let us also take responsibility of the infrastructure that is in place and come out in the evenings for exercise.
Parliamentary representative for Portsmouth, Fenella Wenham Shepherd. And that's how we end the DBS Evening Sports Report and News. On behalf of the News and Sports Departments and our link person Joseph Fadul, I am Leila Langford saying good evening.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fence pipe. And Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins and bidets. PVC piping, fittings and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.